The gym buzzed with the usual pre-practice chaos, the rhythmic bounce of basketballs, sneakers squeaking against polished hardwood, and teammates chatting as they warmed up. I was down on one knee, stretching my hamstrings near the sideline, mentally checking through drills, when Carolina came running in. Her curly hair bounced wildly with each step, her face flushed with urgency. "You guys," she panted, hands on her knees, "you won't believe who our new coach is." That got my attention. The chatter paused. A few girls turned to look. I raised an eyebrow, but Carolina just shook her head, grinning like she was in on a secret too good to spoil. Before I could press her for more, the gym doors opened. The athletic director stepped in with his clipboard tucked under one arm. And, behind him, I froze. Chelsea Mendonça. The name hit me like a punch to the chest. The Chelsea Mendonça, national champion, Olympic silver medalist, the face of women's basketball in the U.S. for over a decade, until she mysteriously disappeared from the sport 3 years ago. No press release. No retirement statement. Just silence. But none of that was what made my heart stop. No, it was personal. Chelsea had coached me at a summer camp when I was 19. A rising sophomore, desperate to prove myself. She'd been everything I admired, talented, intense, and fiercely passionate about the game. And for a few weeks, impossibly, I thought maybe she saw something more in me than just a player. Then, just like her sudden exit from the sport, she vanished from my life too. Now she was standing across the court, clipboard in hand, eyes scanning the team until they landed on me. And they lingered. The director's voice echoed through the gym. "Everyone, meet your new head coach, Chelsea Mendonça. She's here to take us all the way to the national championship." A stunned silence gave way to scattered applause. Carolina mouthed, "I told you," like a kid who just spoiled the twist ending of a movie. Chelsea's expression was unreadable, professional, distant. But I knew she recognized me. I could feel it. She cleared her throat. "Let's get started with something simple. 5 laps around the court. Let's move." I moved on instinct, feet pounding against the hardwood. But my mind was somewhere else entirely. 3 years ago. It was the final night of camp. Everyone else had gone back to the dorms. I stayed behind, shooting jumpers in the quiet gym. Chelsea came in to grab some equipment, and I offered to help. We walked to the locker room together, still laughing about some drill gone wrong earlier that day. But then, there was a moment. A pause in our laughter. A silence that settled heavy between us. I turned toward her. She didn't move away. And then we kissed. Not just a kiss, something that burned. Wild and fierce, like the whole world had tilted sideways. The next morning, she was gone. No text, no note, no explanation. Just an empty court and a hollow ache in my chest. Back in the present, I watched her lead our practice like a seasoned pro. She was sharp, focused, issuing commands without hesitation. It was like the woman from camp had been replaced with someone colder, harder, untouchable. She didn't speak to me directly all week. Until Friday. Practice had ended. The team trickled out of the locker room one by one, laughter echoing down the hallway. I lingered, shoving my shoes into my bag with slow, deliberate movements. Then the door creaked shut behind me. I turned. Chelsea stood there alone. "Jackie," she said softly, "we need to talk." I crossed my arms. 3 years, Chelsea. Not a single word. And now you want to talk? She nodded, eyes low. I was a coward. That caught me off guard. I had just gotten out of a brutal divorce, she continued. My whole life was unraveling. And you, God, Jackie, you were 19. You had your whole life ahead of you. I told myself it was wrong. That I had no right to feel the way I did. I swallowed hard. You didn't just feel it. You acted on it. And then you disappeared. I know. Her voice cracked. I couldn't forgive myself. So I ran. And now you're back. I didn't know you played here. Not until I walked into this gym. I searched her face for a lie, but found none. And what are we now? I asked. She exhaled. Now I'm your coach. Which makes this complicated. Dangerous, even. There are rules. Boundaries. I can't cross them. I let out a dry laugh. There are always rules, aren't there? And you always follow them. Her eyes darkened. Except that night. The tension between us reignited like a flame relit from dying embers. I stepped closer. No one's watching now. Jackie. I can't pretend I forgot. I can't pretend I don't still feel. Don't, she whispered, but her hands betrayed her, reaching for me. Her fingers curled around my waist, trembling. And then we kissed. Not a soft reunion. It was desperate. Frantic. A kiss full of what-ifs and maybes, of 3 years of silence and guilt and want. When we pulled apart, we both knew what it meant. This can't happen again, she said, trying to catch her breath. Not while I'm still your coach. And after the season? I asked, voice barely above a whisper. She hesitated. 3 months. Just 3 more months. Then I resign. No more rules. Promise. She nodded, that unreadable mask cracking, revealing the woman I remembered underneath. Then there won't be any more rules left to break. The weeks that followed were a strange mix of discipline and restraint. On the court, Chelsea was the epitome of control. She pushed us harder than any coach I'd had before. She didn't play favorites. In fact, if anything, she was harder on me than anyone else. But every glance across the gym, every word of encouragement, every accidental brush of fingers or shoulder was electric. We were fire contained in a glass box, always burning, never free. Late nights blurred into early mornings. I found myself staying longer after practice, hoping she might linger too. And sometimes she did. We never crossed the line again, not fully. But in those quiet moments, I saw the war raging behind her eyes. Then came the championship game. A nail-biter. Triple overtime. Our star point guard twisted her ankle in the final minutes. Chelsea called a timeout and looked straight at me. You ready to lead? She asked. I nodded, heart pounding. Born ready. We won by 2 points. The gym erupted into cheers. Confetti rained down. I was swarmed by teammates, but through it all, I looked for her. She stood at the edge of the court, arms folded, tears in her eyes. Later that night, long after the trophy had been handed over and the cameras shut off, I found her outside the hotel, staring at the moonlight over the parking lot. I quit, she said before I could even open my mouth. I blinked. What? I just submitted my resignation. Effective immediately. I walked toward her, heart hammering. You really did it. She turned to face me. No more boundaries. No more hiding. Then she kissed me again. This time, there was no desperation. Just relief. And promise.